Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the last video, I had discussed about the properties of some commonly used salts. If you had missed the video, then you can check the link in the description box. And today, I am going to discuss about the unsolved exercise of the chapter 2 of class 10th, which is acids, bases and salts. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Now first question is, a solution turns red litmus blue, its pH is likely to be 1, 4, 5 or 10. Since we know that the solution is turning red litmus paper to blue color, then we can say that the solution which is coming in contact with the litmus paper is quite basic in nature. So we can easily answer this question as the option number D, which is 10. Now coming towards the next question, which is a solution reacts with crushed eggshells to give a gas which turns lime water milky. The solution contains option A NaCl, option B HCl, option C LiCl, option D KCl. Now we know that eggshells have calcium carbonate in it, and we also know that when it reacts with HCl, the reaction will produce calcium chloride, carbon dioxide and water. And we also know that when carbon dioxide is made to react with calcium hydroxide, which is the lime water, it will turn it milky. So the reaction can be shown as in the figure, right? Now coming towards the next question, which is question number 3rd. Now 10 ml of a solution of NaOH is found to be completely neutralized by 8 ml of a given solution of HCl. And if we take 20 ml of the same solution of NaOH, the amount of HCl required to neutralize it will be option A 4 ml, B 8 ml, C 12 ml and D 16 ml. Now what will be the answer? We can solve it by using a simple calculation. Now we are given that 10 ml of NaOH will neutralize 8 ml of solution of HCl, right? So 1 ml of NaOH solution will neutralize 8 by 10 ml of solution of HCl, right? Or we can say that 4 by 5 ml of HCl solution. So 20 ml of NaOH solution will neutralize 4 by 5 into 20 ml of HCl solution, which will be 16 ml. So this is quite easy calculation by which we can easily say that 16 ml, which is option D, is the right answer. Now coming towards the next question. Which one of the following types of medicines is used for treating indigestion? First is antibiotic, B analgesic, C antacid, D antiseptic. Since we know that the disorder is related to indigestion, which is generally due to the hyperacidity, so the medicine which can be used for treating the indigestion will be option number C, which is antacid, right? Now coming towards the next question, we have to write down the word equations and then the balanced equation for the following reactions. First one is dilute sulfuric acid reacts with zinc granules. Now what will happen? Zinc sulfate along with the hydrogen gas will be formed, and the balanced equation will be 1 mole of zinc granules react with 1 mole of H2SO4 and they will form 1 mole of ZnSO4 along with 1 mole of hydrogen gas. Now coming towards the second option, which is dilute hydrochloric acid reacts with magnesium ribbon, right? So basically magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas will be evolved, and for this 1 mole of magnesium will be made to react with 2 moles of HCl and they both will form 1 mole of magnesium chloride along with 1 mole of hydrogen gas. Now coming towards the next reaction, which is dilute sulfuric acid reacts with aluminium powder. So what will happen? Aluminium sulfate along with hydrogen gas will be formed, and we have to take 2 moles of aluminium powder with 3 moles of sulfuric acid. It will give 1 mole of aluminium sulfate along with 3 moles of hydrogen gas. And the last part, which is dilute hydrochloric acid reacts with iron fillings. So it will give ferric chloride plus hydrogen gas, right? 2 moles of iron fillings will react with 6 moles of hydrochloric acid and they will form 2 moles of ferric chloride along with 3 moles of hydrogen gas, right? Now coming towards the next question, which is compounds such as alcohol and glucose also contain hydrogen, but they are not categorized as acids. Why? And we have to prove it by doing an activity. If you remember, I had already told you in the previous video that we have to take 2 solutions of alcohols and glucose. We have to take 2 beakers separately. We have to take 1 cork and we have to fix 2 nails on it. Then we will connect a battery and a bulb to the 2 terminals between the 2 nails, right, as shown in the figure. And then we will pour alcohol in 1 beaker and will pour glucose in another beaker. But the bulb will not glow in any of the case, since we know that current is not conducted in any of the circuit, which means that there are no ions are present in the solution, or we can say that there are no hydrogen ions in the solution, which clearly shows that alcohol and glucose are not acids, right? Now coming towards the next question, which is why does distilled water not conduct electricity whereas rainwater does? Since we know what is distilled water is the water which does not contain any of the dissolved particles in it, or we can say that it does not contain any ionic compounds or any of the ions in it. So if any of the ions or any of the ionic compound is not present in any solution, then the solution cannot conduct electricity, right? So distilled water does not conduct electricity. But in the rainwater, when it is falling towards the earth, then it may dissolve some acidic gas, which is carbon dioxide, and it can form carbonic acid. And consequently, carbonic acid can provide hydrogen ions as well as the carbonate ions to the rainwater. So due to the presence of the ions present in the rainwater, it can conduct electricity. Now coming towards the next question, which is why do acids cannot show acidic behavior in the absence of the water? Since we know the acidic behavior of the acid will be due to the presence of the release of the hydrogen ions in a solution. But when a solution will not be present, or we can say that water will not be present, how can an acid will generate hydrogen ions? So in the absence of the water, it does not form hydrogen ions and cannot show acidic behavior. Now coming towards the next question, we are provided with 5 solutions A, B, C, D and E. Now when they were tested with universal indicator, they showed pH as 4, 1, 11, 7 and 9 respectively. Now which solution is neutral? Obviously the solution having pH 7, which is the solution number D, will be neutral. Now which will be strongly alkaline? The solution having pH 11, which is the solution number C. Now which solution is strongly acidic? The solution which is having pH 1 will be strongly acidic. Which solution is weakly acidic? The solution having pH 4 will be weakly acidic. And which solution is weakly alkaline? The solution having the pH 9 will be weakly alkaline. And we have to arrange the pH in the increasing order of hydrogen ion concentration. So the increasing order of the hydrogen ion concentration will be 11 less than 9 less than 7 less than 4 less than 1. That is, the solution C is less than E, less than D, less than A and less than B. Right? This will be the increasing order of the hydrogen ion concentration. Now coming towards the next question, equal lengths of magnesium ribbons are taken in test tubes A and B. HCl is added to test tube A while acetic acid is added to test tube B. Now in which test tube will the fizzing occur more vigorously and why? Now fizzing will occur more vigorously in test tube A. which is having HCl. Since we know that HCl is a strong acid and it will have a much higher concentration of hydrogen ions in it, due to which the fizzing will occur more vigorously, since we know fizzing is due to the evolution of the hydrogen gas, which will be formed by the reaction of the acid on the magnesium ribbons, right? Now coming towards the next question, fresh milk has a pH of 6. How do you think the pH will change as it turns into curd? Now we know the pH of basic solution is greater than 7, pH of neutral solution is equal to 7, and the pH of acidic solution is less than 7. When curd will be formed, obviously the pH of milk will fall below 6 due to the formation of the lactic acid during this process, right? Now coming towards the next question, a milkman used to add a very small amount of baking soda to fresh milk. Now why does he shift the pH of fresh milk from 6 to slightly alkaline? He used to make milk slightly alkaline so that it cannot get sour easily due to the formation of lactic acid in it. Now why does this milk take a long time to set as curd? It will take obviously a longer time to set as curd because the lactic acid initially formed will be first used to neutralize the extra alkali present in it. Now coming towards the next question, plaster of Paris should be stored in a moisture-proof container. Explain why. Now we know the presence of the moisture can cause the slow setting up of plaster of Paris into a hard mass by the action of the hydration. So this will make the plaster of Paris useless, right? We should better store plaster of Paris in a moisture-proof container. Now coming towards the next question, what is a neutralization reaction? Give two examples. Now the reaction between any acid and a base to form salt and water is known as neutralization reaction. We can take example of the reaction of NaOH and HCl. We will get NaCl and water. And we can also take NaOH and made it to react with acetic acid. Then also we will get sodium acetate and water. Right? So these are two examples of neutralization reactions. Now we have to give some uses of washing soda as well as baking soda. Now first we will discuss about the washing soda. It is used in manufacture of glass, soap and paper industry, and also used for the softening of water. And about the baking soda, it can be used as an antacid to remove the acidity in the stomach, and it can also be used for making baking powder, which is otherwise used for bakery purpose. That's all for today, and this way we had completed this chapter, but stay tuned and do subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thanks for watching.